Okay, great. Thank you very much for joining today our webinar. I am Eliza. I'm a founder of Discovering You. This is a digital innovation VIP leadership platform. And we are actually helping entrepreneurs and companies to transform their businesses. And we're focusing on helping them to adopt to innovation, to change, to transformation. I work with partners around the world who are specializing in topics such as improvement of sales and communications, revenues, personal branding, also money investing, self-awareness, mindset, and also employee well-being, because all the companies are created by employees, and we know that we have lots of stress and lots of burning out at the moment. So to create this healthy well-being environment where the company is successful and everybody are aligned of the same vision, it's crucial at the moment. Today our guest speaker is one of our partner, amazing Ilana Jankowitz. She is our certified money coach, and she's going to share a topic about money. So how money behaviors affects our life and business decisions. So thank you very much for joining today, because it's Friday. So if you have any questions, ask Ilana at the end. And yeah, great, Ilana. Thanks for having you.
Thank you. Thank you, Eliza, for having me. And as I said, I think it's a huge commitment from all of you that you're here on a Friday afternoon. And I will try and make it as short as possible, because when I start talking about money and money behaviors, I'm a behavior therapist. I just love the topic so much. I just get so excited. I can talk for hours. But I will try and be very clear about keeping it short, because it is the start of your weekend. Our money behaviors comes from our parents. It comes from our parents' beliefs, their patterns, and everything that we've learned from them. We take this into our adulthood. So I'm going to do some slides that I'm going to show you about the different types of money archetypes that show up in your life, and how and literally how these affect what you do, how you see yourself in the world, and just everything is related to the way you feel about yourself. So I'm going to start off by just introducing myself, and thank you, Eliza, for that. I'm Ilana. I'm a certified mindset money coach, as well as an NLP practitioner and a behavior therapist. I work with people on the emotional side of money, why we do certain things, when we shopping, when we have compulsions or addictions, where do these come from? What hunger mentally are we trying to feed? Because there's normally a reason why people shop or buy or do whatever they do. We call it retail therapy, but that's just an excuse for going shopping and going crazy. So just see how this works. Okay. The problem with money and money problems is not about the tools or financial tools. It's about exactly what I was saying. It's about the behavior. How are you seeing money? Is money something, when I say the word money, what are the feelings that come up for you? When I say money, does fear come up? Oh my goodness, it's nearly the end of the month. I need to pay bills. Or does the word money, when you hear the word money, does it actually bring nice things in your life? Do you think, oh, well, that's fantastic. I'm going to treat myself this weekend, or I'm saving, or I've put this money into my pension, or I'm going to invest in whatever this thing is that I want to spend my money on. The word money should bring up not fear, but positive feelings and positive energy. And when you look in and understanding your behavior, this is the feelings that come up. A lot of us were taught as children, and as I was saying earlier on, we were taught that money, or we basically mirrored everything that our parents have taught us. We've watched as little babies how our parents did things, how our beliefs became their story. And our parents told us things, and you might recognize a lot of these things. And this is just a couple. I've got over 200 different money myths that I've heard over the years that people have said, and I've actually recorded them as money myths. Money's dirty. One of my clients told me a while ago, I don't carry cash because money's actually dirty and I don't want to touch it. People have got all sorts of myths, all sorts of connotations around money. That comes because there's fear, there's a scarcity attached to their money. So they have these things. Money's not for them, it's for everybody else. These are all myths. Money is a flow of energy, and you just need to see where it's flowing. Make sure that the flow is flowing towards you, but also when there's bills, that you pay your bills on time, that money flows both ways, like a stream, or like a river, maybe. I'm trying to think which way, a lake, maybe it flows both ways. But literally, money is not something to be scared of. When you understand your behavior and you understand your thoughts around money, it's actually something that can bring you a lot of joy. I want to explain to you, with money therapy, we are wired in a certain way. And this, as I said, comes from our parents. We think a thought, the thought becomes our action. The flow of money is something that can either flow towards us or it can flow away from us. Now, we've got two minds. We've got a conscious mind and we've got a subconscious mind. In our subconscious mind, it's playing like a movie, like a film. All the thoughts, all the ideas, all the things you heard your parents say are playing in like a movie. There's 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day going on in your subconscious mind. And when you try and do something actively, you try and reach a goal that you particularly want to do with the 5% of the conscious mind, the 95% of the subconscious mind is actually self-sabotaging you. So you decide, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to buy this car, or whatever you want to do. The thoughts that's going around in your subconscious mind is, I won't get the money to do this. This is never going to happen. It's going to be one of those dreams that I won't do. And all those negativity that you've been fed to over the years, you keep recycling it over and over. Those thoughts become the emotions, the way you feel about yourself, the way you feel about your business or your personal life. Those emotions then become your actions. So there's a whole chain reaction that's going on. We need to know what's going on in those thoughts and make sure that those thoughts are healthy thoughts. I'll tell you a little bit quickly about my money story, and I see that we've got a diversity bunch of people on this group, which is pretty cool. I come from South Africa and I grew up with poverty. Now, I know that there's different levels of poverty throughout the world, but I cannot say my poverty is worse than yours or your poverty is worse than mine. Poverty is poverty. Poverty also does not look who it's affecting. It does not look whose lives it's come to ruin. It doesn't say you come from this culture, this religion, this race, whatever. Poverty comes to anybody if you're in that situation, if you're in that mindset. It will hinder your life. It will cause havoc in your life. I grew up, as I said, with poverty. My mom was widowed at a very young age and we were 5 kids. I learned what it was to go without. I learned when I looked at my friends that we didn't have. You know, they talk about the haves and the have-nots. We were the have-nots. My mom couldn't afford school fees. She had to work in the tuck shop and do certain jobs after hours to try and pay something towards our school fees. We wore hand-downs from my 4 brothers. I wore their hand-downs. I never wore a dress. I never wore pink. Those things were just not available to me because I had to wear and was given what I was given. I must have vowed, I must have made a subconscious decision that one day when I have children, my children weren't going to struggle like I did. I remember wanting to go to parties and wanting to do things. My parents just said, or my mother just said, there was no money, there's no money. I wanted to do certain things. My friends were having the latest fashions. There was no ways that I could participate in this, even when I was a teenager. And I subconsciously vowed that one day when I had kids, my kids were not going to have this type of lifestyle. They were going to have everything of the best. And when we actually set the intention subconsciously, we carry this out. We do these things. Words are very, very powerful. I created that, got married, had my children, and my kids had everything, from the designer stuff to the big birthday parties, to the private schools, to the works. And what this did was, I had the high intentions with a high spending budget, but I didn't have the high salary. It got us into a lot of financial problems. I would spend one credit card, and when that credit card was full, I had another credit card. It nearly destroyed my relationship with my husband because he thought I was completely out of some crazy woman, like doing the spending all the time. He used to tell me, stop spending, and I would spend more, and I would hide the shopping from him, and I would say to the kids, don't tell your father. And literally, it caused a huge, huge problem. A friend of ours said, you know, you guys are always struggling every single month. When you're sick, you go to a doctor. When you've got a toothache, you go to a dentist. If you've got money issues, why doesn't Ilana go and see a money coach? And I was like, not a chance. I'm not seeing a money coach. Anyhow, after getting letters from my husband because he was so unimpressed with me, I went for coaching. And what it taught me was that all this behavior that I was doing was because of the way I was grown up, the scarcity that I was overcompensating. I was self-sabotaging my marriage, my relationship, my life, to try and not have my children experience what I experienced. I mean, I often think to myself, they should have experienced a little bit of hardship in their life because they haven't. It's been pretty easy to them. We've worked our butts off. They've lived. So that is how I went through this. I'm now completely, for years and years, on the other side. I then decided to become a coach and help other people because I saw a need for this. I don't have debt. I had much debt, lots of debt before. So the reason I'm sharing this is just to show you that you can get out of the situation. You don't need to be the victim for the rest of your life. There's 8 different archetypes, and I want to explain about the different archetypes and what I see coming up for them and how this affects your life, how it affects your business. Money will affect every single area of your life. It will affect your relationships. It will affect every area. Think of an area in your life where money isn't involved. There isn't. The house you live in, if I live in a beautiful house or live in a wherever, it's about money. Everything is about money. How you educate your kids, what car you drive, the clothes you wear, everything is about money. So by understanding the behavior, the psychology behind money, you're able to decide what type of lifestyle you want. Let me just say right from the beginning, this money archetypes, and it's actually a pity that Eliza, we should have actually asked everybody to do the money quiz in my website, because that will give you the reading of what archetypes are active in your life. These money archetypes do not define your personality. These are characteristics and traits that show up in your life. I can read somebody's money archetypes from the quiz, and I can tell you exactly what's going on in every area of your life, because this is what I've been trained to do. So later or whenever, if you want to go and do the money quiz, see which archetypes are running and ruling your life and which ones you want to change, because by keeping them, maybe it's not serving you. And I'm going to go through the 8 different money archetypes. As I said, I'm going to go through them quite quickly. I know it's Friday afternoon and I respect each and every single one of you being here. So I don't want to keep you longer than you have to. Afterwards, if you want to get hold of me, you can, and we can continue. The innocent. This archetype, I see men and women. This particular person is powerless. She's helpless. She feels like she's got luck, bad luck is on her side. she just feels like there's so much anxiety and so much anxiousness going on in her life because she does not control her money. This person I often call the ostrich because they put their head in the sand. They've got no idea what's in their bank account, how much money is in their pension, will they have enough for pension, how they're going to get through till the end of the month. They often experience more month than money, which is something that I see quite often. And they really just feel powerless. They would love somebody to come and just handle all their debt and take the debt away. They don't know how to make decisions. It's very indecisive, as exactly like she's standing. I say as well, when the head is in the sand, the rest of the body is exposed. It's not a good situation to be in. You don't want to have your butt up in the air in any circumstance. So these archetypes are self-sabotagers. They do not serve you. Nobody wants to be the innocent. I see this archetype in every single person that I come across that comes to me for money coaching. The next one's the victim. The victim's waiting to be rescued. I often say to my clients when I see the victim, I'm looking out the window, I don't see anybody coming up the road on a white horse. He's not coming. She's not coming. Come on, let's handle your money. They need to be rescued. They also live in the past. They talk about when we lived in Australia, or when we did this, we had a maid and 2 cars or whatever. Living in the past does not serve you. Living in the past only makes you resentful and unforgiving. The victim has got a lot of addictive personalities and will talk to himself or herself things like, I will never be rich. Those money myths that we had in the beginning, I'll never be rich. Money's for everybody else. Money's not for me. I must just accept my lot in life. They don't strive to do better. They don't plan to change their situation. They live in the SH, you can finish the rest of the word, and they stay there. They're prone to blaming others. It's always somebody else's fault. It's a government's fault. It's COVID's fault. I've got clients that have done amazingly well in the last year with COVID. I've got others that say, I couldn't do anything. My hands are tied. We had COVID. This is the victim. They're very highly emotional and they're financially irresponsible. They don't make good financial decisions. Wants to be rescued, the victim. Talking to a victim, there's nothing more irritating than talking to a victim. I just need to say that offhand. They just like, they struggle to get out of the past. They live in everything was so wonderful. They paint everything wonderfully, where it's not the truth. The hero I see in men and women. A lot of businessmen and women have got the hero. They're very successful financially, confident, generous, all of these words. However, I often see burnout when I see this particular archetype. They don't know how to delegate. They don't know how to give responsibility to somebody else. They are a little bit control freaks. They want to do everything themselves because they feel they do the best job. So therefore, they often burn out. Often the people that have got their own businesses will do everything from invoicing to the bank account, to getting the new business in, to do the marketing, to the advertising. They do everything. They don't know how to delegate. And as I said, this leads to burnout. So this is an archetype that I've got to watch where the score is. If the score is too high, I try and bring the score down by giving them tools to work with, because it will lead to burnout. If it's too low, there's a problem. They've got no business sense. I need to teach them on the business side. This one is my mother of all archetypes. This one does not believe in herself. She does not do for herself. She does for everybody else but herself or himself, and is so angry on the inside. So because she's a caretaker, she's looking after everybody else. She's long-suffering. The martyr has lost her confidence. The martyr feels very disappointed in life. The martyr doesn't smile very much. She's often in business, doesn't charge her worth, doesn't charge her clients. She'll do something for the client and don't send them an invoice because she feels bad about charging them, or they're having a hard time, or their daughter's just gone to university. They come up with all the excuses because their worthiness has been knocked. Our worthiness, our self-esteem gets formed and created in our childhood, and we carry this into our adulthood. And I'll speak later about this because I've actually got a challenge next week that is all about this and how to fix this. The next one's the Maverick. As you can see, this girl just wants to shop. She's going to shop until she drops. No planning for the future, no pension fund, no money in the bank. When the pawpaw hits the fan, there's nothing in the bank account to help because she has spent every last cent and more. I had a big score of this. Super, super, super living in the moment and not thinking about the future. This is not a good situation to be in. I always say the fool thinks about Saturday night. The wise person thinks about the future, about their generation, the next generation, as opposed to just, I'm going to die, I'm taking my money with me. The Maverick needs to plan, needs to slow down, needs to stop thinking everything's going to be okay. The glass is always overflowing. It's so full with this particular archetype, the characteristics. They don't see that anything can go wrong. That's why they don't plan. Very, very adventurous, happy-go-lucky, will spend the last cent. This is not a healthy situation to be in because we all have life. COVID came, lots of people lost their jobs. People had to think of working differently. This person did not have saving. One of the things I do is I try and teach the people that I work with to always have 3 months worth of saving in their bank account, because if something happens, you've got some money. You can pay bills, you can pay things when the money is not coming in for whatever reason it is. So this is not a pretty situation. It looks very pretty with all the bags and all the pinks, but it's not a pretty situation to be in. Very irresponsible when it comes to spending, as you can see. The artist is detached from the material world, very doesn't know how to charge, very creative. I'm going to do this work for you, but I'm not actually sure what it's worth. They're on their own trip, they're on their own journey. I meet a lot of creatives, creative artists. They're also very spiritual. So they think, oh, the universe will provide. I'm sure the universe says somewhere along the line, whoever the universe is to you, whoever source is to you, do the work and you get the reward. This guy thinks, no, it's not my responsibility. Very passive, internally motivated, but as you can see, just completely into their own stuff. A lot of my clients that are artists, a lot of them have said to me that parents have told them that they'll never make money from art. And some of them are amazing artists. So guess what? They don't make money from their art. They don't make money from doing these beautiful works that they do because they believe that it's actually got no value in the world. Where by the time I'm finished with them, they've got art exhibitions and galleries and all sorts of things, and they're making money. This is all about self-worth again, self-esteem, confidence, deserving, and how they show up in the world. As you can see, the controller, very controlling the finances, what's happening, prone to rage and anger. This is the person that compares themselves to the Jones. My neighbors have got a Merc, I need to have a Merc. The neighbors are painting their house or putting in a swimming pool, we need to do this. Very judgmental, very critical, highly materialistic. I was big this. My kids wore designer clothes, babies. I mean, some of the stuff still had labels on because they didn't even get to wear it. All comes from fear. It comes from scarcity. It comes from lack. There's a reason why this person is like this. You're not born a ruler. They try and control everything that's going on and manipulate. I could manipulate my husband so easily. One credit card was full, I'd get another one. I just had to catch him at a nice moment and I could get what I wanted until it got to a point where he'd had enough. The ruler is not nice characteristics. It's not something that we want. It's okay to have a little bit of all of these archetypes, but there's some that we need more of and some that we need less of. This is the archetype that everybody wants to be. I've got a group we call the Money Magicians, that are ladies that have, or people that have worked with me. This person is connected. This person is confident, compassionate, is wise. All of those words. This person knows how to make money. This person sees an opportunity, takes that opportunity and turns it into money. The opportunities are there. The difference between this archetype and the victim or the martyr, whatever, this person gets off her behind and actually does something because she believes in herself. Her confidence is high. Her self-esteem is super, super high. This person gets things done. The magician sees things where other people are saying, oh, maybe next week, I've had a busy week this week, I'm not going to contact that person. I was talking to a client of mine earlier on who told me she was talking to another client of mine and they were just having a chat this afternoon and coffee. And I'm saying, so did you make money this week? And she said, no, not really. And I said, why? And she said, we should try next week. That's not being a magician. The magician is always looking for opportunities. And I'm not saying where you kind of like just pushing for the money. Doing it authentically. If this is the work that you do, do your work. When you've done your work, then you can relax. Then you can have the coffee and have the chit chat. This person talks her truth. She walks her walk and talks her talk. Money is balanced and flows into her life. This is the archetype that we all want to be. And if you've got low magician score, we need to get you a higher magician score because a magician does things. I've got a client of mine who lived in London, young girl. She was actually from Kenya originally. And her boss told her that for 3 months she was going to go on this work thing in Germany. She phoned me and she said, how am I going to pay my rent? I said to her, have you thought about renting out your place? Her company paid all her accommodation while she was away and she rented out her place and she doubled her income in that 3 months just by thinking smart. The magician thinks smart. They learn how to work and have passive incomes. They don't work so hard. There's a difference between working hard and working smart. It's your choice what you decide to choose. So those in a nutshell are the archetypes. I've got these on my website, on my course page. If anybody wants more about the archetypes, there's a budget, there's daily gratitude and planners, which I've got. If anybody wants, send me your email and I'll send these to you. The quiz details are there. As you can see at the bottom, mindformoneycoaching.com, take the quiz. The quiz will tell you exactly which archetype is driving your behavior. I always say, if you're thinking of a car, you're thinking of a sat-nav, see the archetypes as a sat-nav. Who do you want in the driver's seat? Do you want the victim in the driver's seat driving your life? Do you want the martyr? Or do you want the magician? Put the magician and the hero in the front, the creative artist in the back. Take the victim, the martyr, all the others, the innocent. Put them in the boot, in the trunk, and close the trunk. Because they're going to make havoc in your life. They're going to make havoc on your journey. We're all on a journey. Make sure that the right behaviors are driving your money. So there's the link again to the money quiz. That's mindformoneycoaching.com. I've got next week a 5-day challenge, which I'd love to invite you all to. And what it is literally building your self-esteem. It's literally, there's 4 workbooks. Every day you get a workbook. It's building your self-esteem by knowing that you are enough, that you're more than enough. It's going through questions where you're really searching what is the hunger that you feed in. Is it that you're angry or that you're feeling a lack, that you're doing certain behaviors in your life, in your business, that is actually self-sabotaging you? Are you procrastinating for a goal or for whatever it is that you are not doing because fear has taken over? It's literally a 4-day quiz. Eliza, can you maybe put that link into the chat? That link. Can you do it in the chat, or can we do it after?
Maybe we can send it to everyone after, because now it's the presentation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Literally, it's a 4-day. You get 4 workbooks on every day. I'm going to be showing up in Facebook answering questions about this. So you basically work through. They're not very big workbooks. And then on the 5th day, there's actually going to be a prize. There's also going to be Q&A and a Q&A and something else as well, where basically to round up the whole week. The price of the I Am Challenge, it's 47 francs. We in Switzerland, which is literally for a full week. What it will do at the end of the week, it will change the way you feel about yourself. To change your money behavior, you need to change yourself. You need to change how you feel about yourself. What things have happened to you that has knocked your self? You can find this also on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, Mindful Money Coaching or Ilana Jankowitz, you will see the link to this. Your self-esteem has been knocked or rocked as a child. Things that you've been told by our parents, brothers, family members, even a school teacher that told you, gives out all the tests after she's marked a test and says, whose test is this? Who hasn't put their name on the piece of paper? Next time, put your name on the paper, stupid. That knocks your self-esteem. I know we were spoken to at school like that. That knocks your self-esteem. That self-esteem gets so knocked that your confidence gets knocked. When your confidence is knocked, you don't deserve anything. You feel like you don't deserve. That is how you show up in the world. That is how you show up in your business, in your job, in your career, in all areas of your life. That affects how you are. So I'd love you, all of you, to join me on this course next week, starting on Monday. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, which I'm going to do now. Sorry. And come back to you. Does anybody have any questions or anything they want to know? I'm completely throated out now. And I don't have any water on my desk.
Thank you very much, Ilana. So if you have any questions, you can ask Ilana now. And I will resend the link after the webinar.
Okay. Did it make sense about the behaviors and the archetypes? Could you see yourself as somebody you know in any of them?
Yes, I would like to give some feedback, Ilana, also to the others. I think, or maybe we share it all together, it always is the basic awareness. You have to be aware that something must be changed in the way you are thinking, the way you are approaching your thoughts. Everything starts within the positive thoughts. And of course, sooner or later, when you get struggled in life, you start asking yourself, where does it come from? From my culture, from my education. But once you take awareness of your background, you work on that. And I think that's the basic also to apply to the universe, because the universe is giving, is opening, is giving you all the richness. I do already work a lot with Louise Hay, for instance, and with her positive affirmations. I try to change to slowly by way to modify this so deep roots from your education, the example you made, and that's, I think, dependently from which culture, from which place you live. Important for me, which I love to share with you, is to be to take consapevolezza, that you really take that you are aware that this is all the way you are thinking, you are acting, and that's getting to you. So I think especially regarding money and business, it's a question of behavior. I absolutely do agree, Ilana, and thank you also for the input. I will have a look at your courses and to see if there is something I can.
Just a mini course. It doesn't lock you in forever. Yeah. It's a week long, and there's going to be
on a daily basis or
every day you get an email, and you can do the workbooks there on the day. It shouldn't take you very long, and then there will be a group. Otherwise, you can actually do the workbooks at your own convenience. It's literally 4, and each one follows on to the next one. It tells you how, when you don't feel that you are enough, you don't feel that you're worthy. When you don't feel that you're worthy, and they tie in. There's a lot of psychology that goes behind this, but at the end, what you get out of it is that you realize that the thoughts you're telling yourself is a lot of negativity, that it's sometimes thoughts that aren't your thoughts. I've been asked, I get interviewed regularly for podcasts and summits, people all over the world, and I've been asked many, many times, what is the one universal issue that you find that comes up? And it's exactly, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough. Inside, I'm not enough, I could be better, I should have done this. I get women from the ages of 20 to 60 telling me, I should have sorted my money by now, I'm 40. And then I get somebody the next day who's 60. I should have sorted my money by now. Everybody has got an issue with not feeling good enough. And it comes from our childhood, it comes from school, it comes from bullying, it comes from our family. I know my brothers, I mean, we used to call each other idiot, stupid. I mean, that stuff sticks. That stuff sticks. So that is basically what it is. It will definitely help you to kind of see things differently. Susan, I think you were going to say something earlier.
Yes, thank you, Ilana. Thank you so much. Great insights. And just to add on what Sabine said, awareness. And you, Ilana, you can put that in a very beautiful way. I loved it. I loved your story. I loved how you share it with us. And I can relate a lot. My mother had 11 kids, and I know the story of not having fees. And I know the story of saying my kids will have it better, and I want to make it better for my mother.
Yes, simple.
Yeah. And
where are you from originally?
Kenya.
Kenya. My partner's from Kenya.
Really?
The girl I studied with, and I've got lots of clients from Kenya. So that's so interesting. Lots from Kenya.
Yeah. So what I just wanted to say, great topic. And 2 things, maybe that's why it's not really, it's still a big thing. In Germany, people say we don't talk about money. And that will lead to us not talking with the kids about money. And if they want something, you don't want that at that time, you'll just say, we cannot afford it. But someone told me, watch out, that what will happen with the kid if you keep on saying we cannot afford. The kid will have the feeling we cannot afford anything. So why should I try anything? And since then, I've been doing, it's never too late to learn. I learned it very late, 5 years ago. But since then, I've been watching out what am I telling my kids.
Very much so. And rather saying, we're going to do this, but not now.
Exactly.
Instead of saying, I cannot afford this, because what it does is it creates fear in them. If you tell a kid that, one of my clients told me, she told a kid that, and he thought they don't have money for food, they don't have money for rent. In his mind, the little 7-year-old, all these things were going on because she said we couldn't afford to go wherever they were supposed to go. It's very important the way you speak over your financial situation.
Great, thank you very much.
Pleasure. Does anybody else have any questions or want to add anything?
That was really enriching webinar. So I just wanted to know, like, I had a few friends, they belong to developing countries, right? So sorry, not developing, what I can say are like, they are from small countries like Bangladesh, and then like some people from South African countries, and some are like from Lebanon, which are undergoing very high inflation, right? So just wanted to know, like for those people, it is really very tough, in terms of like money management, and also what would you advise generally, because they have not that great salary, right? And then like at the same time higher inflation. So what would be a kind of general advice so that they would have like this kind of money management? You can just share some inputs.
I'm not sure what the question was. What is the advice I would give somebody on money management?
Yeah, no, I'm just very specific to those countries which are very small and where inflation rate is very high. Okay, suppose a family in Lebanon or like in Bangladesh, what would you advise to them so that they can improve better in money management? That is my
budget
yeah.
And save.
Yeah,
Don't spend it all. Don't spend it all because you're worried that you're going to lose it or someone's going to take it away from you. A lot of people do this. A lot of people and it doesn't matter which country they come from and which nationality or which religion, which culture. A lot of people have this mentality that if I don't spend it, I'm going to lose it. Don't spend the last cent of money. Budget. Make sure that you're living within your means. Make sure that you're looking for opportunities to bring in wealth.
Okay,
a lot of people will spend it because they're afraid of losing it. They don't want to put it in the bank.
Okay,
There's
that's
a fear.
very great. Yeah. So I have one follow-up question. So what if they are living with the means, like they are spending with the means, but yeah, they are also they are also very what I can say, like they are also like don't want so people to comment right on their lifestyle. Suppose if somebody has they are trying to leave spend money at a reasonable cost, but somebody they comment like, hey, how are you spending money? So
Nothing to do with anybody else
yeah.
about how they're spending money. It's their money. I mean, if they're adults, they need to take control of their money, not somebody else take control. I don't know if that answers it, but I think, it's actually got nothing to do with anybody else. It's that particular person. It's their money that they're earning. They need to make the decisions, not allow somebody else to make the decisions for them.
Good, great. Any more questions? If not, then thank you very much. Anyone, we will share the link for Ilana course, this 5-day course. I think it's very interesting to invest. And also you can find her on our platform, discovernew.net. Would be great to follow our next coming seminars. We are doing each month something interesting. Thank you very much for being today, and thank you, Ilana, as well, for an amazing presentation about the money.
Absolute pleasure, and I wish all of you a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'd love to see as many of you next week on the challenge. Does this interest anybody? Is this something that somebody would think that they would want to do, about feeling more confident, building self-esteem? Thank you for that, Sasha. Is this something?
I think Sachin, you were raising your hand. You were interested, no, Sachin?
I was just clapping. I was giving it.
Just
okay.
clapping. Okay.
I would like to join. It's really interesting. It's just I'm maxed out for next week, but I will be in touch. Maybe there will be another opportunity to join.
Absolutely. It's going to keep running literally next week. It's a challenge, and then it's going to be a course for the same price, because I'm wanting to make it. I've done this particular course because I think those are a lot of root issues for many people, and I've made it as cheap as possible so that it can get to more people.
Okay.
I'm not working one-on-one with the person for 6 months or anything. It's a short course, but it's literally a taster into, the type of work that I do. I've helped many, many women, many men, mostly women that I'm working with. I do couples, a lot of couple coaching. to change their behavior around money, because changing your behavior, a lot of people say to me, why don't I talk in the schools? Not interested. I believe help the woman, she helps the rest of the family, she helps the children, she sorts everybody else out, because I really believe the woman's the rock of the family. I see it in my family, I see it in other families, and sort out your money, you will sort out the rest of the families. My children both save. My son's nearly 27, he's got a pension. So is my daughter, you know, because they've learned correctly from me now. So that is how it is. If you'd like to go and do the quiz and just sign up for the newsletter, you'll stay then in contact with me for the course. As I said, next week's just, I'm doing it as a trial, but then it literally is available to you.
Thank you. It's
Pleasure. And lovely to meet all of you. And thank you, Eliza, for having me.
Thank you as well. And hope to see you soon for next webinars of Discovering You.
And
Grace, have a nice weekend, everybody. Thank you.
Have a
Bye.
great weekend.
Bye.
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 Bye. Thank you.